Hello, everybody. I have been testing out Ardeos builds, of course, with the new season, and had a pretty good Silken Hollow I wanted to share. So, in this dungeon, I'm kind of running a bit of a hybrid build. Now, you guys might have noticed if you started going into Eternals that a lot of classes are kind of abusing the new Sapphire gems. They're really strong, and in this dungeon, I am doing that too. So you can see my ult has 130 max spirit points. That's one of the things that Sapphire 6 does. It also gives you a ton of extra intellect whenever you ult, which I also have the Drakheim set, which means that whenever we ult, we're going to evaporate packs. But this is where kind of the hybrid build comes in. You can see in the bottom right, I also annihilated this pack with no ult. So that's where our icicles comes in. That's where our agonizing blaze comes in. We do really strong sustain damage, and then when we ult, we just delete packs. Yeah, like detonate with like 40% of my damage there. Frogs account for a ton of damage. I mean, that's an insanely large pack as well, because we were pulling two massive packs together. But yeah, so again, we have really strong sustain damage, and then when we get our ult, it's going to destroy everything. Now, is this optimal? I'm not sure. I still have to test that. Again, I think like a pure ult build would be sort of... You would go like Chrono Shift Spire for Visions of Grandeur specifically, so that you get more ults off, and you're constantly reducing your cooldowns. And then like a pure like sustain damage frog build would be going icicles, but you'd probably be going haste and crit gems instead of Sapphire. So not sure which one of those is going to be better. I'm kind of doing a mix of both, so we end up doing a lot of sustain damage and burst damage. But unfortunately, it's pretty early in the season, so I haven't had a chance to grind out the like super specific gear that I need. You know, one of the things that I have, and what has kind of inspired me to go into Sapphire, is I have the Drakheim set, which gives you a really big intellect buff. I believe it's 20% whenever you send ult. So that, on top of the new Sapphire, which gives you a ton of intellect whenever you ult, and allows you to store extra ult charge, means that we're just going to evaporate packs like this. So yeah, we're going to send our ult here. We're going to get a ton of haste from Spirit of Heroism. We're getting like a 44% intellect buff from this. And yeah, we're bursting almost up to 500k. Maybe we hit it. We barely do not. We're like 495k DPS on this pull. And this is like no Shadow Lords, no anything. Like, I've had some other dungeons where I burst up to like 600k with Shadow Lords. And I'm like 300 eye level. So I still have 30 more eye levels to go. A ton of gym power to get. And this build is already absolutely cranking. Yeah, these ults are crazy. And so part of me does want to get that Chrono Shift Spire with Visions of Grandeur just so I can test out how like a just chain ulting build would go. I have seen other classes, mainly like Alarian and Rhyme. They just like ult every pack. Like they're like full 10 Sapphire, just going insane ult build. And yeah, I did like a Tazari with a Rhyme earlier, and she was actually just ulting every single pack, which I thought was kind of crazy. You know, the ults don't seem to be as effective as Ardeos ult, because Incinerate just does so much damage, but getting so many of them is just kind of nuts. So yeah, I've been having a lot of success with this build. It does do a lot of damage. Again, kind of not sure exactly where I'm going to take it. I would say if you have the Drakheim set, I would go for an ult-based build. I think the Frogs build does take a while to scale, even into Eternal. Like, I'm still not at the point where it's optimal yet. One of the things with that is that, again, the haste gems do not get super strong until 9 and 10, where you're getting that free 9% haste all the time. The 1 in 6 on the Topaz tree is not that great, especially compared to the 1 in 6 on the Sapphire tree and the 1 in 6 on the Amethyst tree, which they did nerf, but I think it's still good. And so you really need a lot of gym power in order for Topaz to be good. Once you get it up to 9 and 10, it's really strong. And once I get enough gym power, I'll probably swap over to that just to try it out. In Season 1, I did that, and I had like 50% haste, which was really nice with the frog build. Of course, back then, that was like before Ardeos ult even got buffed. And so his ult kind of sucked. That was when Sapphire wasn't changed yet. So even with the ability to go max haste or max crit, either one, maybe you still go Sapphire. Maybe ults are just so broken this season that you just go them anyway. But yeah, I would like to kind of like commit to one build or another. But hopefully this dungeon kind of proves to you guys that there are multiple viable things here. Like, I was doing insane damage without ult, I'm doing insane damage with ult. Really, all that you need is the Frog Legendary to start doing crazy damage. This pull's a little bit worse because we didn't have our APOC, but I think we sent it at the end here because this is the last pull of the dungeon. We start killing these spiderlings. For some reason, the icicles staff does not work on a lot of the mobs in Silken Hollow. So if you are considering, like, do I go Chrono Shift and like ult build, or do I go like icicles? If you're doing Silken Hollow, I think Chrono Shift gains a lot of value because I don't know if it's a bug or something, but a lot of the mobs, like the little spiders, the egg bearers that spawn the spiders, and I think like the green spiders that put the dispel on people, they just don't get hit by the staff, so you can't dot them. I don't know why, but it's kind of annoying. I don't think that's been a problem in any other dungeons. If you're doing massive pulls in other dungeons, Icicle Staff's getting a ton of value. But, yeah, just wanted to put that out there. Maybe they'll fix it one day. I don't know. So here, I mean, this boss is pretty straightforward. We saved most of our AoE for when the ads spawn, just so we can blow them up. We have our ult coming up here. Because it's Sapphire, we get to ult when we hit 95 instead of 100. Because we do get a discount from the Sapphire 5 gym node. So we're waiting for all our cooldowns to come up here. You know, detonate is better the more dots you have out. So we're ulting here, sending our frogs after ult. I haven't actually tested if that's ideal or not. My reasoning for why I'm doing that is that our Drakheim set plus Sapphire gives us a massive damage buff after we ult. So if we send frogs after we ult, theoretically they do a lot more damage. Yeah, again, I haven't really tested if that's ideal versus like sending them early and then getting the extension on them. I don't know if they like snapshot damage. I feel like they would, because it's based on the initial damage. So that's what I'm currently doing. I'll probably have to do some more extensive testing on that. Again, we're lining up all of our stuff, sending our frogs out. You can see those giant toads just bouncing towards everything over there. The one thing with this build that I will say is the single target is not great. I think Ardeos' single target kind of took a big hit in this patch because he got so many good new talents. Like, Backdraft is amazing. I thought it was good when I reviewed it earlier. It's even better than I thought. I mean, we're just taking it all the time. You get permanent Searing Blaze on everything. So that's a 1-point talent that you kind of have. You know, also, like, Agonizing Blaze is good now. So I'm taking that. I actually do get a cloak upgrade here, which is nice, because my previous cloak was only 300 item level. But, yeah, so it's a lot harder for us to take those single target, like, Infernal Wave talents that we were taking before. Maybe it's also just, like, a gear issue. Like, as we get better gear, it'll be more effective in single target, but, yeah, I mean, the Frogs build is crazy. You can see here, I think any build that you go with Frogs is going to be viable. Ult build, you just blow stuff up like we were doing there. If you were to go an ult build, you get more frequent ults, so that would be good. And if you don't want to go an ult build, yeah, you can see my gym power right there. Yeah, if you don't want to go an ult build, then you can just go straight up Icicles build. That's going to be more of like a crit haste thing instead of crit Sapphire. But I think ult build's better to begin with, and then maybe we'll transition to like a pure like haste and crit frog build where you're just doing insane sustain damage and massive packs, kind of later down the line with completely disc gear. But we'll see. There's also a chance they nerf Sapphire or something, so we'll have to see what happens. Also, if you like this content, you want to see more, please consider leaving a like, comment, even subscribing. Any of that stuff really helps me keep motivated, and I'm excited to continue making content for Fellowship Season 2, testing out new builds and all that stuff. So, again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.